Alright, welcome to Signal Pads. I'm Doug.
And I'm Ryan.
And today we're going to cover a new streamer from Ferrum Audio. It's called the BROEN.
Yeah. BROEN?
BROEN? I don't know.
Yeah.
BROEN.
I wish I knew how to pronounce it.
Yeah, you'd have to ask them. It
But
sounds like...
I'm not from Poland.
Yeah, it could be BROEN. BROEN?
Could be.
I don't know. Whatever.
It's all right, man.
Yeah, it'll work. So it's a new product they're coming out with. I think they're releasing it in August. It's a dedicated streamer transport, basically.
Correct. Yeah.
And no DAC involved. You have to bring your DAC to the party.
Yes.
It's basically built specifically designed to be an ultra level kind of a streamer.
Right. Absolutely. The ports on this thing are great. So with the ports you have, let's see, I squared S. Mm-hmm. So this is output. You can also do optical, you can do coax. And then for the inputs, probably the one that I'm most excited about, beyond, obviously you've got your Ethernet input, you can also do Wi-Fi, but it also has an SFP port, so the small form factor pluggable, and that is a fiber optic port. So you're actually starting with galvanic isolation right
at
because
the source,
there's absolutely no electrical connection between
and it's something I've seen played with in the DIY forum for a long time. I know a lot of guys in the Discord audiophile group that I'm a part of. They'll take the because they make those in a networking version, so they've taken those SFP modules and repurposed them as audio transports.
Yeah. For
their streamer, and there's you have to use a converter on each end.
Right.
And they say they're excellent. I've never tried them, but it makes sense because you're basically galvanically isolating your signal chain by using those because there's no electrical connection. It's all light.
Yeah, absolutely. So the big thing with the BROEN is that it doesn't actually use a computer circuit board.
So it's unlike a lot of streamers.
Unlike a lot of streamers, and those circuit boards get a lot of noise in them. And a lot of times you have things like the Wi-Fi antenna is or your network connection, your Ethernet connection coming in is actually part of that circuit board. And so it's actually sharing physical space to allow some of that network noise to come in, whether it's RF from the Wi-Fi signal or if it's actually Ethernet port noise. Those can get into that signal really easily on a regular computer board.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever hooked a laptop up to a signal chain in your audio system and you hear a hum or you hear... I mean, there's all sorts of weird nasties that come from computers.
Right. And so you definitely want to filter that out in whatever way you can. And the less physical space it actually has to travel, the better. Right. So one of the things that is really nice about not having that computer circuit board with BROEN is they've actually separated the processing into basically 3 different domains. They have your network Wi-Fi domain, which is one section of it, and that's isolated from the audio processing section of it, and then that's also isolated from the system control. And so all 3 of those areas are working separately without any sort of physical connection. Okay. And so anytime you have that break of physical connection, just like we've talked about galvanic isolation, you make the system quieter. Really, the biggest problem that we have with every system out there is the noise behind the system, right? Yeah. Like all you ever want to do is reduce background noise.
Noise floor, because noise floor robs you of spatial cues, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that noise in the system can rob you of.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's something that I focus on whenever I buy electronics for the shop, and have stuff for display. It's like, what is the noise floor like this? Is this something that is quieter than other units? And so I'm really excited about what the BROEN's going to do with that. Also this is going to reclock everything. It has, it's kind of like a
DDC
instant,
built into it.
It's an instant reclocker. It's their FPGA model.
Well,
it's really cool because you can if things happen down the line, the FPGA can be reprogrammed to deal with code a different way, which is great. But the other part of that is it basically gets a grid that it just snaps the music into for reclocking, as opposed to we're rebuilding it, which with other circuit boards they're trying to rebuild that system. But you're dealing with it's digital to digital. Right. In here, and so it's always zeros and ones to zeros and ones, and so if there's something that's going on with the Wi-Fi, a standard unit with a circuit board is going to be going, oh, I gotta pay attention to that right now, and that creates jitter, you know. Yeah, it does. And so anything that you can do to reduce jitter, that's a good thing. And so that's what's going on with the BROEN. There's all these different separate domains, and they're all working to make things great. The BROEN was, I guess, designed, I shouldn't say I guess, I know, it was designed to work with the Von Le DAC from Ferrum. Right. But it's also perfectly usable adaptive with any other DAC. Yeah, it's got and all it's the actually going to improve your DAC's performance.
Yeah, well, it's got the reclocking, the DDC built into it, which anybody that knows has ever played with a digital to digital converter, and the whole concept sounds weird to a lot of people. Right. Why would you convert digital to digital? But what you're not really, what you're doing is you're taking those ones and zero code and you're cutting out all the extra stuff out of it. You know, computer noise, any kind of ground noise, any kind of errors or all that stuff. It's stripping that out to where all you're getting is a musical information.
Yeah, and that's going to be a beautiful thing. So ultimately, that's actually going to make your DAC, which may be a good DAC. That's not a Ferrum. Maybe a really good DAC. Could be it may be a mediocre DAC. Who knows? It's going to make that DAC perform better, just because of what's being fed into it. Anytime you give something a good, clean signal, it's going to perform better. We know that.
Yeah, and I mean, just like the DACs and themselves over the last 10 years, you know, we found that, you know, the engineers have found that what's left to fix is stuff related to noise, jitter, stuff like that. That's the areas that we're doing, you know, that's been the most concentrated on in DAC design. So if they can nip that at the streamer level, that's less the DAC has to worry about.
Absolutely. So take the load off your DAC and get a BROEN.
I mean, why not do it?
We had a really nice experience at Southwest Audio Fest with a reclocker. Just a reclocker thrown in.
Yeah, I was using my laptop, which is an ARM-based, PC-based laptop, which I'm a big fan of the ARM laptops simply because the way they work, they're so efficient. They don't produce a lot of the CPU noise that like Intel does, but they still do. Yeah. And there's a company, Strata Audio, that had a DDC, their reclocker that we tried that it really boosted up performance.
And it was interesting because the Geshelli DAC already had a reclocker in it, but you're taking a task away from the Geshelli so it can actually perform better the digital to analog conversion and not have to deal with the reclocking, you know. And then you have the reclocker separate, so everything gets to do its own thing.
I mean, I've heard it too many times where somebody installs I've done it at home, put a DDC reclocker in or a unit that helps galvanically isolate your system, and I've heard the differences. And it's not small if you know what to listen for.
It's a lot like creating more of a sonic vacuum. It's the vacuum of space.
It's like noise floor.
Your noise floor just goes
your recorded space is the biggest thing. Listen to a record. If you ever play with a reclock, even like something like a JDS Lab Synapse, which is an inexpensive $80 degalvanic isolator. The best way to hear it is you listen to your favorite track, then install the reclocker and listen again. And what is spatial cues. It's the room ambiance. It's the recorded space is what comes alive because your noise floors are reducing.
Absolutely. It's an amazing.
If you're attuned to it, you'll hear drastic differences if it's a good reclocker.
Yeah. So anyway, So we're looking forward to the BROEN DAC.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
I keep saying DAC. The BROEN streamer.
Yeah, when we get it in, when it gets here, I'm sure we'll do another video on it.
So I do want to throw this out just about Ferrum, because we've talked about this before. Ferrum has a small footprint. Like a lot of people consider this to be a unit to go with headphones, and they are great with headphones.
Yeah,
but you throw these things into a really nice ultra hi-fi system, they are great.
Well,
people perform so well.
People don't realize a DAC's a DAC. It doesn't matter if it's for a headphone system or a 2-channel system. It's doing the same job.
And how many DACs have you seen are this big, but the unit inside?
Yeah, you look inside,
big,
and the circuits are take up 1/8 of the space. And the only reason
here's a bag of sand or something.
And the only reason they do that is because a lot of people like that continuity with their gear being the same, that double rack space width. Yeah. And it doesn't need to be that way. You know, most streamers and DACs don't need to be that large.
Yeah, and if you want to do that with your Ferrums, you can set them side by side, and they kind of take up that one.
Yeah, they call it half space. You know, it's a half-sized unit, so you could stack two or set them side by side. But I mean, a lot of these components, some of them don't need to be as big as they are. They do it because it looks good in a rack.
Yeah, and also with Ferrum, you have the option of getting the HiFi power supply, so you can actually take the power supply outside of your DAC and your streamer,
which has its own benefits,
which also includes more benefits. So there's less mechanical noise, and it's just that's gonna translate.
Well, anytime you take the power supply out of the mix and put it in a separate container, you're not emitting
the same energy.
Well, yeah, you're not emitting any of the nasties into the circuits. Yeah. All that gets dissipated in its own container, where it's not affecting anything else. And
that's not to say that what's there without the HiFi isn't sufficient to do a lot of work and shield that interference, but that doesn't mean it gets all of it. So
anytime that you anytime you take something like a power supply out of the container, and you make that DDC or reclock or anything work less, it's not working as hard, you're going to get better performance.
That's absolutely. So, very cool. All right. Well, that's what we can tell you about the BROEN for right now. And thank you for joining us on Signal Paths. I'm still Ryan, and he's
Doug.
All right, and we will see you guys next time.